Hey cats, it's EDDBUD here. Thanks for joining me on the channel. If it's your first time here and you like running shoes, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications of when I launch those new videos for you. Today I'm pitting the glamorous upper and catwalk cushion of the New Balance FUELCELL RC ELITE 2 up against a whole host of other shoes, including the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent 2. Let's get to it. Okay, we're going to kick off the comparisons with the New Balance FUELCELL Rebel version 2. So this one comes in about 30 grams lighter than the RC ELITE 2, which is round about an ounce. Obviously the foams are the same in the two shoes, but the Rebel 2's got far less of a sidewall here around both sides of the shoe. On the ELITE 2 you can see the sidewall creeping around both sides. It does create a more stable platform. Fit really isn't all that far off between these two models. Maybe they've used the same last. It's certainly a more race and up for it kind of feel. More containing certainly than a daily trainer. Both of these, I have to say, feel really good even at a cruising sort of pace for me, which is about 8 minutes per mile, right up to sort of 6-minute 30 blasts. That's pretty quick for me. Might not be for you guys. There's some very, very able and athletic people out there, but for me, that's moving. I think that over and above that half marathon distance is where really the RC ELITE version 2 comes into play. I think the extra foam that sort of cups the foot in the heel area and that carbon plate will come in handy to stabilise the ride, especially when you get up into those sort of higher mileage long runs. I think the low stack in the Rebel 2 make it a great daily warrior. I mean, it's super lightweight. Let's be honest, it's lighter than the Next Percent 2 in my size. So I think I'd probably do everything up to around a half in the Rebel 2 and then switch it up if I was going further in the RC ELITE 2. Though we do have to be aware of the price difference here. 85 Earth credits. 85. It's because they've been raiding the craft shop with all this felt and these massive logos. They're huge. The Rebel 2 is almost like a minimalist shoe compared to the RC ELITE 2, isn't it, in the upper. So when we compare these two, it's very much a horses for courses type situation. RC ELITE version 1 next. So no surprises that we're seeing a few pairs of discounted RC ELITE version 1 shoes turning up. I think it makes a great value grab and a more cost-effective addition to your running shoe rotation. Again, this is round about the same weight as my UK size at 11.5 as the Rebel 2. So we're talking about an ounce or 30 grams difference between this and the RC ELITE 2. Some runners may prefer the more streamlined style that we have here in the RC ELITE version 1. There's less of that sidewall here, either side of the shoe. I think quite a lot of people might find the RC ELITE 2 a little more stable there, but you've still got gallons of that squashy fuel cell material here. But equipped with the apparently very difficult to source and very expensive to implement Dynaride outsole material. On my 7-mile saute this morning in the RC ELITE 2, I didn't find any problems with the outsole in dry conditions, and it was an enjoyable and rewarding session. Managed to get to my goal paces where I wanted without loads of effort. No sign of any slip at toe off, but I'm still hesitant to use it in the wet conditions. I think the tongue padding, heel counter, and that sort of race fit, streamlined style give this a little edge to me over the V2, though I have to say the V2 is growing on me a little bit now, getting some more miles into it. I think around about 25 or 26 miles already, so I'll keep on grinding them down like I've got some sort of running shoe cheese grater. Though I think those searching for stability in their running shoe will probably want to opt for the RC ELITE 2. It certainly is a spectacular shoe. It's a touch wider than the RC ELITE 1 in the heel, and of course we have those benefits of that overlapping midsole foam here around the heel area. I think those stability nods could be very welcoming to many runners around about mile 20. You guys know what happens then. So I do think after a bit more use that the RC ELITE 2 to me does feel quite similar in fact to that legendary Pokemon of a shoe, the SAUCONY ENDORPHIN Speed. These two pairs of the shoes in my UK size 11 and UK size 11.5 do come in practically the same weight, around about 265 grams or 9.35 ounces. So yeah, we do have a half difference here, but they're very similar. The outsole surface area on both these shoes is almost exactly the same in the forefoot, and we have a very similar ride between the RC Elite 2 and the Speed. So I would suggest that the Power Run PB foam in the Speed is a little firmer, not quite as squashy or compressive as that big slab of fuel cell that we've got on the RC Elite 2. I did find the ride in the Speed to get a little more flexible over time. More miles I put into it, the less and less rigid it was. And I do think that the longevity of the RC Elite 2 will be a little bit better than that of the Speed due to the carbon plate within the midsole. Both outsoles work particularly well on the dry, but not so well in wet conditions by my experience. Though I think the cheaper retail price of the Endorphin Speed does make it a little more attractive. Though I think if you're racing, the more aggressive plate in the RC Elite 2 will probably edge it over the Speed. Two very different shoes here from different manufacturers, but with a very similar feel. Okay, last comparison up today is against the Next Percent 2. I got the prototype edition here. I got about 50 miles into these so far. I am saving them back a little bit for some racing, hopefully around the corner. So we got 20 gram difference here between the UK size 11 Next Percent 2 and the RC Elite 2. It really is a Cadbury's Dairy Milk marvellous creations of a running shoe. Next Percent 2 is marginally narrower in the heel area, but vastly narrower in the arch. If you've worn this shoe or tried it out, maybe sent it back, you'll know what I'm talking about. The Next Percent 2 is very narrow. There's a lot more width here in the RC Elite 2, and I think it'll appeal to a wider range of runners. No pun intended. One thing I do find with the Next Percent 2 is that the carbon plate in the heel isn't anywhere near as pronounced in terms of feel under your foot. Maybe that's something to do with the Zoom X foam, I don't know, but I've always thought that it isn't anywhere near as present under your foot against Saucony, New Balance and Adidas models as well. You just feel that carbon plate there. Maybe it's the position of the plate. It's a little different in the Nike, I don't know. I think the Next Percent 2 upper here is vastly more breathable than the New Balance one. There's just less here and the air gets through the mesh a little bit easier. No overlays here, just minimal aesthetics. I mean, there's copious amounts of felt here on the RC Elite 2, those stick-on logos and overlays just all over the shoe. I think if you took all of that away from the RC Elite 2, you're probably getting a little bit closer to the Rebel. I just think reducing that weight a little bit, getting it closer to the Next Percent, will certainly make it a little bit more attractive to people who are looking for a high-end runner. If they're going to spend that much cash, it just seems really odd putting loads of holes into the upper material but then adding all these other overlays that you just don't really need, when you've kind of already done that in the Rebel version 2, which is a cheaper and supposedly inferior shoe. That makes sense to me. I mean, with these colours, it's not like anyone's going to miss it. It really stands out anyway. So I think that would make it a little closer to the Next Percent and perhaps justify the similar pricing as well. As it stands to me, I think the Next Percent 2 still trumps all of the others in terms of performance and an effort to pace ratio. At least for me anyway. You may feel different, but I think it's still right up there. More comparisons coming soon against the Fuel Cell RC Elite 2. If you do have any suggestions or a particular shoe you'd like me to compare this one to, please let me know, guys, down in the comments. Time for a musical interlude. Today it's from Question Mark and the Mysterians, a track called 96 Tears. Now, I believe this one was released in 1966, which is obviously a famous year because it's the only time England ever won the World Cup. It must have been a good year. And it was made even better by Question Mark and the Mysterians releasing their fantastic track. This is a kind of garage rock kind of tune, heavily driven by organ and the very mysterious Question Mark, who was the leader of the band, with the vocal performance. I love this track. It does very much remind me of the Corner Shop tune Brimful of Asher that I featured on the musical interlude a few days ago. Fantastic garage rock track, and I think it did very well in America, not so well over here in the UK. So you may not have ever heard it before. I think loads of other bands have covered the tune as well, including the Stranglers, and it's one of those tracks that once you've heard it, it just won't leave your ears. It will just go round and round. So you may actually not want to listen to it because it could drive you completely insane. But I do recommend you do go and check it out. It is a fantastic track and one I've been listening to today on repeat. Question Mark and the Mysterians with 96 tiers. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications of when we launch those new videos for you. We're getting closer every day to 20,000 subscribers. Also helps the channel out if you give this video a thumbs up like and share the video with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you